of the things that happens when we lose a loved one, when they pass over into spirit, is that our spiritual senses open up, they get stronger. Our grief opens our heart, opens our sense of self, our longing to connect with those that we miss, that have left us. And this sense of longing, of wanting to communicate, wanting to connect, or just wanting to know if they're safe, if they're in pain, if they have been able to connect with their family on the other side, if they're aware of where we are, what's going on in our lives. We have so many questions. However, when we want to connect with our own loved ones, it's really essential to begin the journey within our heart and within our feelings, and allowing ourselves to feel the grief, to feel the sadness, to feel that sense of not being connected anymore in the physical way to those that we love and care for. Sometimes this journey of grieving brings us closer and closer to a part of ourselves that we haven't necessarily been very familiar with, our spirit, our soul. And it's through the journey of grieving, if we allow ourselves to take that journey fully, to really feel our feelings, to be able to open our heart despite the loss, and to allow ourselves to feel, to think, to want to connect with our loved ones, and not to just regulate that to the past and to no longer. It is still present, and that's important for you to remember. Your loved one is still with you. Even though they're not with you in the physical way, they're with you in the eternal sense of self, which is our spirit and our soul. And as we become more familiar with our own spiritual self and listen and become more receptive to any kind of feeling, sign, connection to our loved ones on the other side, it gets stronger. It opens the door. It allows that to flow more freely. And one of the ways that you can begin that journey and to begin to receive more, to get more of a sense that your loved one is with you, is simply through feeling and opening your heart and becoming aware that there is more to you, just as there is more to what we perhaps fear of our loved ones who pass over, that they're no longer alive, they're no longer able to know, to feel, to see us, to connect with us. Nothing could be further from the truth. They're very aware of you, they're with you, they're loving you, they're healing, and they're sending all of that wonderful energy to you, all of that love that they've become more aware of, that they're feeling to a higher degree. They send it to you. And so as we grieve and open our hearts, that's the conduit, is our heart. That is the avenue through which we will be able to do the healing we need from a loss and come into our wholeness as a spiritual self, as a soul self, which I know seems kind of ethereal, and it's not a very pragmatic or practical kind of tool, really, that we think much about in the physical life. But again, even though we're in physical body, we're spirit. We are spirit. And if you allow yourself that knowledge, that awareness, something within you will begin to generate, will begin to open the doors, will begin to kind of take the lead. And it's not through your thoughts alone. It's not even through the emotions we feel alone. It's a part of us that is less tangible. But when we give over the reins and we want to become more familiar with that, and therefore become more connected and familiar with our loved ones on the other side, something magical begins to happen. Everyone's journey is different, though. Everybody will have a different experience because we're all very individuals. We have our own lessons we need to learn. We have our own ways that we can feel what we need to feel and become more aware. And there's something kind of very powerful but yet elusive in us that's always guiding us in that way. So if we pay attention, listen, follow where we're guided, and accept that our loved ones are with us, and accept that those things that we often dismiss, or we think it's my imagination, or they couldn't possibly have touched me on the shoulder, or given me a hug, or been in my presence, they are. They are.